Well, good morning. I'm Magnus Linklater, and welcome to the latest Times Business Forum being held here in the Royal Society of Edinburgh. And the subject today is the chemical industry in Scotland. And we've gathered together leading figures in an industry which is hugely important to Scotland's economic future. To its exports, it's a major exporter, and it touches almost every aspect of Scottish commercial and indeed private life. That is to say, energy, pretty well every industry operating in Scotland today depends on the chemistry industry, and its success or failure will govern a lot of the future of this country. So the discussion this morning promises to be extremely interesting and provocative.
Well, we're here today to discuss the chemical science industry in Scotland, and it is one of the unsung success stories in Scotland, one of our biggest exporters of £3,000 million, and it employs around 10,000 people in Scotland. And after all, it's chemistry and its applications that affects the clothes that we wear, the food that we eat, and the vehicles in which we travel, and has transformed life for people over the last couple of centuries.
Well, the global chemical industry is a growth industry, and I believe it's going to grow faster than the global GDP in the world. Why is that? Well, it's because the chemical industry is an integral part of providing solutions to a lot of the world's sustainability problems. And opportunities. The Regulatory Review Group's been running for quite a number of years now. It was one of the very early objectives that we set ourselves. And the main objective for that is for us to create a regulatory environment in Scotland which provides a competitive base and to make it an attractive location for global chemical companies to come and do business.
We are very innovative. We do a lot of research and development. So we have projects running with universities across Scotland. One project currently with Edinburgh University is using a material that we have and a process that they've developed to create something that's novel, particularly in the biomaterials sector. And a similar project with Glasgow, for example. So in terms of university collaborations, we probably have, to various degrees, probably half a dozen to 8 collaborations running at any one time.
And about 4 or 5 years ago, Skills Development Scotland provided the funding for small companies to do an equivalent scheme, and Ingenza are really enthusiastic supporters of the modern apprenticeship scheme. And it allows us to give them some very specific training in the specific needs of the business while they still get their kind of formal theoretical training at Forth Valley College.
ScotChem is a strategic alliance of chemistry departments in Scottish universities. There are 7 of them, and they're arranged into 2 groupings, East Chem and West Chem. East Chem is St Andrews and Edinburgh, West Chem is Glasgow and Strathclyde, and the universities of Dundee, Aberdeen and Heriot-Watt are also involved. We're doing pretty well in Scottish universities. There are huge numbers of interactions going on already, and they're measured in the hundreds, and a lower level of consultation and casual interaction probably in the thousands.
Well, the reason that we have a reputation in Skills Group is to ensure that we can attract good qualified people into our industry and to promote the industry as a solution to the world's problems. Scotland is in a unique position where, as a small country, we have very, very good relationships between industry, colleges and universities. So the collaboration is a 3-way collaboration between these groups. And by building on these collaborations, then we can ensure that we can provide the appropriate skill and numbers coming through for the future of the chemical industry in Scotland.
So our centre draws on funding from a range of different bodies and institutions, the EPSRC in the UK, Scottish Funding Council, to establish a national platform, a national centre that brings together all the leading expertise in the different disciplines supporting manufacturing research for high value chemicals.
Within the UK, CMAC is a national centre. We have £13 million funding from EPSRC, the Research Council, as a national centre in this area. And really for CMAC, the next big thing is progression on a world stage and really developing links with other international groups. For example, this week we've hosted some visitors from Purdue University and MIT. And at the weekend, myself and Alistair Florence, who's the lead academic, are off to Singapore to look at discussions there to see how we can work with academic and industry community overseas.
The reason why we're so interested in the chemical sciences sector is because of several things. First of all, the value to the Scottish economy that current sector provides in terms of jobs, in terms of contribution to the economy and in terms of exports. But secondly, there is an additional item in terms of the growth prospects of this sector and how that can enhance the value of the sector within the Scottish economy. And a third angle on this is that chemical sciences underpin everything. So other sectors, energy, food and drink, life sciences, textiles, forestry, all have a benefit from and a reliance on the chemical sciences.
Well, Chemical Sciences Scotland is the industry leadership group in Scotland. It's a unique partnership of the chemical industry, the universities, colleges, government agencies like Scottish Enterprise, regulators like SEPA, Skills Development Scotland. The way we position it is that anybody who is affected by the chemical sciences in Scotland, or anybody who has an impact upon the chemical sciences in Scotland, should be in the room as part of Chemical Sciences Scotland. Fortunately for us in Scotland, we're well placed within that shakeout because the refinery we have at Grangemouth is one of the very few in Europe which could handle the lighter fractions like shale gas.
The things that are driving change, the consistent messages we hear from companies are about the fact that it's a growing sector. It's a sector that's driven by high levels of technological innovation, and it's a sector that's constantly looking at ways to drive efficiency in processes. So that creates demand for skills at a range of levels, including access to research and development capabilities in universities and the company base, graduates with high-level skills, and also highly skilled technicians.
As ever, today's Times Forum threw up a whole raft of fascinating themes, and what emerged about the chemical industry in Scotland is that this is one of huge potential. The opportunities for growth are major ones. What emerged too was that the chemical industries are now Scotland's second biggest contributor to exports. And it depends hugely on whether the industry gets support, not just from government, from politicians, but also from the public. And one of the themes that emerged was that the image, the reputation of this industry, so important to Scotland, needs to be improved, needs to be raised, its profile needs to be raised, so that over the next decade it can take advantage of the opportunities for global growth. And Scotland could be a major player in this sector. It already is punching way above its weight in terms of its contribution, but the potential is there for yet further growth. But it is an industry that needs support, and that is one of the major themes that emerge from our discussion this morning.